So I'm Hunter with Burbs. I'm here with Tino Szn. We're going to be sitting down, talking to him. He's got a lot of stuff coming up. Just to kind of give some intro on yourself, Tino, so our fans kind of can get familiar with you, just kind of like how you started, where you're from, how old you are, all that kind of stuff.
So my name is Tino Szn. I'm 16 years old. I'm an artist from Gastonia, Charlotte, North Carolina. I started making music in 8th grade after I saw this kid in school. He was getting all the attention. I was like, oh, no, I'm not about to let that slide. But prior to that, I just always, had little inklings, and I would just always think of like, damn, what would it be like to be an artist? Just because I grew up around a lot of music. My mom and dad played a lot of music around the house. Then just my own research that I used to go and do just on music and stuff, which led to me having influences like Chief Keef, Uzi, Playboi Carti, My Chemical Romance, like you name it, different genres, all that, even Billie Eilish.
You're saying like that, like the music that your parents kind of played when you were younger kind of like influenced you to have all these different genres. How do you think like that really plays into your music?
So, a lot of people, when they first, listen to me, they say like they see the Uzi influence. Some people say they see the Playboi Carti influence. People ain't picked up on Chief Keef influence. People ain't picked up on Eilish influence. Well, some people have picked up on the Billie Eilish influence. That's where I get like the whisper flow, stuff like that. Or like if I do falsetto with my voice, which is the high pitched stuff that you hear in some songs. But, if you listen and some of these artists that I mentioned, you'll pick up on the influence.
Okay, gotcha. So what is since you mentioned the Chief Keef influence, what is your favorite track by Chief Keef?
Oh man, it either have to be Save Me or Say That Shit or Sex.
Okay.
All them old, man.
Bro, because like here, like just like being from like the suburb of Chicago, going to a bunch of functions and shows, bro, like it's so weird, bro, because like he can be like not releasing music, but at the same time, he is so relevant at all times, no matter what he's doing. Like, especially here, it's crazy. So kind of tell me, like kind of with, coming up, you are a part of a collective called Flight Crew. So like you want to kind of give background on Flight Crew and then kind of the members, how you got involved, what's your guys' goals, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so pretty much Flight Crew was started in, I'd say, early 2020 by my previous manager, Draco, rest his soul, and Donovan Wayne, which is one of my main producers. So pretty much Flight Crew was started as pretty much like just any other collective, just a place where a whole bunch of creatives could come together and create. At first, initially, it was producers, but then I was probably like, I think I was like the first or second artist to join Flight Crew. But, since then, we done like recruited a whole lot of good producers like Luca, Solitude, Bright, T Blossom, Ooze, you name it. But, like I said, we're a unit. And, I had a tape released back in 2020 called Take Flight. And, I put it up there. I put it up there with like my favorite projects. That project was really pivotal for me going into like Pegasus Kid 3 because I got to experiment with some different sounds that like I didn't really have that much knowledge on before and stuff like that. So, Flight Crew, they've been a big part of my success and just a part of me growing as an artist and a person.
Okay. So kind of mentioning Pegasus Kid 3, with that kind of being your latest tape, what would you say like the jumps from 1, 2 to 3 have been like the biggest jumps for you career-wise?
Oh man, the biggest jumps from 1, 2, and 3. So Pegasus Kid 1, that was like when I first started making music, which was 2018. It included everything that I had made up until that point. It released January 4th, 2019. So everything that I made between 2018 up to that point, it was on there. That was kind of like the basic, the basic Tino sound and stuff. I was recording on the phone. So, it wasn't that up to par. But, around then I was just picking up on like my melodic side, just experimenting with little pitch correction and stuff. But then over the course of 2019, that's when I got my mic set up, stuff like that. Started experimenting on FL Studio, then really getting into the melodic side of things, which by the time Pegasus Kid 2 released, I'd say it was only one song on there without auto-tune. Then all 2020, Flight Crew came into play. I started meeting all these producers and stuff, started meeting some of these great artists, and they started giving me tips, which, now I can't even put my music in a box because, you know, sometimes you got some extraterrestrial type shit and sometimes you got some lit shit. So, you know, like I think just the evolution of my sound just between those three projects, you know, it really went up quick.
You had people like you were working with these other artists and like kind of like I'm assuming they kind of like I guess a kind of corny way to say it, but like drop some gems for you so you like understood some stuff. Do you have it now where people will hit you up and be like, yo, what is this? Like, how do I do this? How do I go about this? Like, just the way you, so like, what does that kind of feel like? And then what do you typically tell people?
Man, you know, it is crazy because I got a lot of kids, you know, younger people hit me up asking me for advice on music. And, you know, just to think back in 2018 and like still now sometimes I'm that kid that goes and asks a bigger artist for advice. And, you know, it feels really good because back when I was that kid, you know, I would ask some of these bigger artists and, you know, I get ignored because I know they would see the message and stuff. So, you know, I don't want some of these younger kids to go through what I went through, especially as a smaller artist, because it could really discourage you. So, you know, a lot of these kids, they got big dreams. They want to do stuff for their parents, you know, with music and stuff, or, you know, they just want to have fun with it. And I want to make sure that, you know, the younger generation, I want to make sure that they have fun with music. So, you know, any resource, any tools that they need, you know, they can ask me. If I know it, you know, I drop them gems.
There's just like thing where it's like people don't want to help other people succeed, and especially in like this type of industry, and like I see it all the time, and it doesn't make sense to me because like I guess my whole thing is like everyone's goal is the same thing, is to for mostly work for themselves so they can do what they love. And there's just like I don't know, this thing in the industry where it's like people don't want to help people, especially smaller. I don't know if it's like a cloud thing, like you can't work with people smaller, but I mean I don't know.
It's ego. It's ego. And like I'm not even gonna like blame them for that because, you know, sometimes, you know, we're artists, and, you know, from the outside looking in, you know, sometimes people would think like, damn, you know, if I was that big, nah, I wouldn't be answering all those people, you know, I wouldn't be helping so and so. So, you know, they just probably got that mindset and it just probably stuck with them, you know, from when they weren't an artist, and, you know, they just took it with them. You know, I'm not even gonna blame them for that.
Off of image and aesthetic, like what kind of inspired like the cartoon or like drawn cover art style?
So, you know, it came from like a lot of cartoons and just like the music that I was listening to, you know, coming up. Like cartoons that I could name is like Amazing World of Gumball, then you got South Park, then you got Dragon Ball Z, you got Hunter x Hunter, you got fucking Bleach. So, you know, that really inspired like the anime side of things, you know, for my cover art, but just cartoon stuff in general, you know, just that group of cartoons. Then you have the Lil Uzi Vert versus the World covers, which, you know, I take inspiration from, and just a lot of Uzi covers.
I guess like with Uzi kind of being a big influence, like what is it about Uzi that really made him like stick with you?
Man, I say like I found Uzi in 2015, and pretty much what initially, you know, got me like, oh man, I'm a Uzi fan. What initially got me like that is just the way he stand out, because at the time that I found him, you know, bro had white hair. You know, all them other rappers that was out the other time, you know, they looked at that, they like, man, that's kind of weird. He dyeing his hair, this and that. He kind of rapped like Young Thug, which at the time it was a lot of controversy with Thug. You know, you had one side that was like, bro, Thug a goat. Then you had the other side saying, oh man, you know, Thug is trash. So, you know, I say he took what Thug was doing at the time, he just took it to another level, in which, you know, at the time I'm like, bro, that's crazy. You know, that's hard, bro. I ain't never seen nothing like this. And, you know, just his style overall, just the image, the aesthetic, you know, him, you know, being a huge rock fan, stuff like that. You know, just different from a lot of artists. Even Thug is like, you know, a small influence on my music. You know, when I try to step outside the box with some of my melodies, I get that from Thug. I'm not even afraid to give that credit to him, you know, and I see his influence with a lot of these other artists.
Kind of, you mentioned like Uzi with the white hair, you know, you've dyed your hair quite a couple times. Like what, you know, how many times have you dyed it? And like, what, like, is there a new color you're trying to try? Like what's going on with that?
All right. So I say over the course from 2019 to now, I started out with orange, then I dyed it black, then I dyed it blonde, then I dyed it blonde and pink, then I dyed it a dark purple, then I dyed it red, and then I got this color, which is like you got blue in some parts and you got purple in some parts. Next, I'm either thinking about going white blonde or like either green, or I might just go all black again.
Okay.
Go to my rock star days.
So what is one of your favorite songs that you've never released, and like kind of why haven't you released it?
My favorite song that I've never released would probably be this song called Never Again. It's like almost something like 24K Golden would make. It's one of them songs. It's like a pop song. Reason why I never released it is because, you know, just initially, like when I first made it, I'm like, I don't make music like this. But then everybody that I showed it to, you know, they're like, bro, this is a hit. But you know, I'm still kind of in limbo mode about it. You know, I gotta make more songs like that, then come back to it and see if it's really worthy to, you know, release. But that's probably that's probably one of my favorite unreleased songs that I am unsure about.
Okay. Well, talking unreleased right now, it's not going to be unreleased in a little bit. So do you kind of want to talk about your new song that's going to be coming out? Actually, one of the interview drops today.
Yes. All right. So Vice featuring Snot, bro, it's a banger. But a lot of people, they ask me, their main question is, how did I secure that? Keep it hot with you. I don't know how I secured that, because like around July 2020, Snot just hops in my DM. He's like, bro, you go hard. And, you know, I was trying to grasp it at the moment. I'm like, Snot. So I hit up Draco at the time. I'm like, yo, bro. I'm like, you know who just hit me up, right? He's like, who? I'm like, Snot. He's like, bro, you fucking cap. He's like, you forcing it. And I'm like, nah. So, you know, boom. 2 days later, Snot goes live. I join his live. He fucking like requests me to live. So I'm just like kind of froze up. But I get on live, chopping it up. He like, bro, you know, I know I followed you, this and that. Send me something. So I'm like, send you an unreleased song, or like send you a song to get on. He like, a song to get on, bro. So, you know, after that, we exchanged the info, you know, and I end up sending him the song late, but he ends up sending it back. And, you know, I'm like, bro, you snapped. And you know, then was the point, like, I realized I wanted to drop that song, because before Snot even got on it, that was supposed to be like a throwaway single for Pegasus Kid 3. But, you know, once I saw what Snot did to the track, then, you know, I kind of looked back on my vocals. I'm like, I actually did good on this song, and our chemistry was good on this song. So, you know, I'm gonna release this, and why not release it? You know, Snot took time out, you know, did this cost-free, you know, for an upcoming artist, you know, to pretty much have a chance to shine. You know, why not release it? You know, and that's real big on his part. You know, it's very genuine. He's probably one of the more genuine artists I've met, you know, just along my journey to the top.
Right. No, yeah, that's super dope, bro. And like, that's definitely probably like a big, like, I don't want to say milestone, but a dope accomplishment where you're like, damn, I'm reaching these bigger artists. They fuck with my music. And it's probably validation that it's like, okay, my shit's hitting, like it's going the right direction. Because I know it probably can't, like, as confident as you are, as confident as anybody is, everyone can kind of be like in that position where it's like, okay, I want to make sure I'm heading in the right direction. You get those signs of validation, which is helpful. But kind of going into that, you know, with 2021 being really early on, what are some other goals you kind of have for yourself this year?
Man, I got a lot of goals, actually. You know, I want to at least get a song to 1 million this year. I want to reach like 10K followers on Instagram, get verified. And you know, just work with more bigger artists, you know, because like I said, Snot done kind of started a little kill streak. So, you know, just work with bigger producers. You know, I definitely want my next tape, Lone Wolf, you know, I want that to be a body of work. And, you know, I'm working on that like every day, you know, just in between the schoolwork I got. But, you know, pretty much, you know, it's just a whole lot of big music goals, you know. I'd say it's more than what the average artist will want. But, you know, like I said, I'm different. You know, I'm shoot for the stars.
Right.
So, yeah.
What do you kind of want people to know about the difference between like what Lone Wolf would be and Pegasus Kid 3? Like, what is the main kind of thing between them?
So Pegasus Kid 3, that's just pretty much a showcase of like what, you know, all I could do as far as like my melodic side. Lone Wolf, you know, it's kind of gonna be like it's gonna be like what Lil Uzi Vert versus the world was to Uzi. It's gonna kind of be like that turning point. You know, it's gonna be like a lot of new sounds on there, you know, a lot of updated sounds and stuff. It's even gonna kind of be stepping outside the box. You know, it's gonna be, might be pop songs on there, might be real rap songs on there, like rappy rap.
Yeah.
So, you know, Lone Wolf is just pretty much taking the showcase, just putting it up a notch. Like, really, this the big project. This it right here. Like, this pretty much, how do I explain it? Lone Wolf, this solidifying what I already got and just making it better. I said it's a deeper meaning to Lone Wolf, but you know, y'all ain't gonna find that out until the tape drop.
When are you hoping to kind of release it? Like mid 2021?
Mid 2021. Mid 20. That's all I'm gonna say. I would say May. I would say May, but if it take like a month longer, then hey, you know.
If you got a chance to collaborate with a clothing brand, and you got to design a piece, kind of what brand would you pick and what kind of piece would you design?
Either Vlone or Supreme or, well, yeah, Vlone or Supreme, honestly. Well, no, Off-White. I'm tripping. And I probably like either design a hoodie, because you know I like hoodies. I wear hoodies in the summertime. But you know, yeah, I go crazy with Off-White, Vlone or Supreme. Man, all right. As far as shout outs, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Burbs Hunter. I want to give a big shout out to my man Jared. Make sure you tag him, put him right there or something. I don't know. I want to give a big shout out to Flight Crew and Stray Dogs and Stray Dogs music group. Oh my God, I about messed it up. But you know, all y'all, you know, they really been a big part of my career, you know. And I want to take shit up. I want to take shit up. We all going up. But yeah, as far as shout outs, you know, that's what I want to shout out. But just anything else that y'all should know, honestly, is if you're an artist, smaller artist, you know, young or old, if music is the career that you want to go after, don't let anybody discourage you. And I know a lot of people say, don't let anybody discourage you, and it sounds real plain, but I'm gonna go deeper with it. You know, when I first started making music, you know, my parents, yeah, they did support it, but, you know, they were kind of weary. I had a lot of people weary about what I was doing because, you know, I come from a sports background. You know, a lot of people wanted me to quit music. You know, a lot of people, you know, they tried to play me. So, you know, if music is something that you really want to do, you got to think, all right, this person is making fun of me for doing music. This person want me to quit. You know, this person laughing at me. You got to think, if you quit now, a year later, you're going to be looking back saying, damn, what if I quit? You know, damn, what if I didn't quit, you know, a year back? Where would I be at right now? That's how you got to think when people, you know, just be talking shit about your music and stuff like that. Because if I would have quit back in 9th grade, you know, I wouldn't even be doing this interview, stuff like that. I wouldn't even have a song with Snot. So stuff gets better as an artist. You just got to be willing to keep this shit pushing, you know. Some people's situations, you know, they might have been harder than mine. They got through it. You know, you got people like Thug and Uzi, you know, people that really came from like the streets and stuff that's still on top. So if you really want to do this shit, you know, you got to keep the shit pushing.
Well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tino, for sitting down. I appreciate it. You can go check out Tino's socials in the description. Tino, if you want to shout out your socials now.
So y'all want to go follow me? Go follow Tino Szn on Twitter. Go follow Tino Szn on Instagram. Subscribe to Tino Szn on YouTube. Follow me on SoundCloud and Spotify. They should be somewhere over here. But yeah, Tino Szn. I did 200K for my total on list, so I can't really work with no local. Then I bossed up on my head.